Is well and truly to bed. First team to gain promotion to Super League 3 times. They got the nod for one of the 14 licences last July. The Salford City Reds, along with their opponents tonight.
One, move, 10.
Super League in South Wales, and as we mentioned last night in the game at St Helens, the competition will be seen in 5 countries this year. England, Scotland, the Magic Weekend, Wales of course, France with the Catalan Dragons, and in Spain as the Dragons take the match with the Warrington Wolves to Barcelona in round 17. Truly an international competition this year.
Well done.
And it promises to be, as some of the results over the past couple of weeks have proved already, it promises to be a very competitive Super League this year, with the grand final just down the road from here at Old Trafford on October the 10th.
Good defence yet again by Salford. It was a good kick by the standoff Jeremy Smith. I think Sean McRae, the Salford coach, feel pretty confident that not only happy with the scoreline, but he'll want to try to... Oh, good break by the big fella, Delacourt.
Great run from Delacourt. Salford scrambling to get him down.
Just getting back to Sean McRae's situation, Eddie. It's just that I think he'll want to use the heavy forwards, try to suck them in, and then try to get it out wide as quickly as possible.
That's a great run from Tony Duggan, and there is a chance here for Darren Mapp. Wonderful run, and the Crusaders hitting them at the start of this second half. Ball finds its way to the far side, but Dyer, I think, was in touch. Touch judge agrees, and the scrambling Salford defence stands firm. But there were one or two moments before this that...
yeah, he's just got his right foot on the whitewash. This will be head and feet to the Salford Reds.
It is, but there were one or two moments there, Steve-O, with these runs and offloads that, well, Salford were in panic mode.
Good work by Mapp, the second rower.
Eddie, the Reds' defence in the first half looked very strong. The only try they conceded had an element of luck with it, didn't it, when the kick ricocheted off Myler's hands. But on that shot, the first 2 minutes here, they have been broken rather easily, and quite concerningly, I would say, for Sean McRae's team.
This is one thing that Celtic Crusaders have to take into account. They've been around a while as Peter Lupton, but to apply the pressure and then just throw it away with a lazy tackle. It was high. Nothing that the referee could do about it. Had to award the penalty. If they're going to look towards having a win, or any win this season, the Crusaders really have to make sure they do not give away penalties and come up with so many errors.
Here's Parker for the Salford City Reds. Now Robbie Paul, good scampering run from dummy half. The referee unhappy.
Well, they weren't back the required 10, and a couple of them really weren't.
And a high shot as well.
Standing square.
He could have got them for offside, but it's the high shot that he has signalled.
Jason Chan. Robbie Paul on through.
Smack in the mouth.
And again, we saw there quite clearly Robbie Paul, just like Alka did early in the game. They're very slow at the Crusaders of getting themselves organised at the play the ball.
Anthony Blackwood with the head bandage, and so too is the man he clashed heads with, Mark Bryant, who's there. Here's Robbie Paul. And now it's an opportunity here for Luke Adamson. This is his 50th appearance for Salford, by the way. He's so close to the Crusaders line. Paul, dummy half. Across the face of play. Scrambling defence from the Crusaders now. Paul again. Back it comes to Myler. Here is Smith. Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick good on his feet. Had a wonderful World Cup with Ireland, did Carl Fitzpatrick. And gets the penalty. Wanted to get on and play the ball, but Hannay and company would not let him. Would not let him get back to his feet, and Van Dijk is down and injured as well.
Problems for the coach, John Dixon, is the fact that he was good tackle by Van Dijk, but went in a little bit awkward. Got a stray knee. Good dummy running by Salford. And, he went low, but he suffered. Just couldn't get the head out of the way, and so it applies the pressure on the neck and the spine. Let's hope he's okay.
A worrying moment for the Crusaders. Jace Van Dijk injured, and Bill, you've got more injury news for us, I believe.
Well, yeah, it's remarkable that Anthony Blackwood's out there in actual fact, because he had that clash of heads late in the first half with Mark Bryant, and he's got stitches under there. Blood is pumping through the cut, I think, just on the other side of his forehead. He was spark out just for a moment, but he insisted he was okay to carry on. He's out there, is Bryant as well. They've got enough problems without taking each other out.
Yes, they have. Van Dijk is a brave character. He's okay by the looks of things. Will carry on.
Just couldn't get his head out of the way, could he?
And Salford with the penalty, of course. So here they come with Ian Sibbett. Big chance this for the Salford City Reds as it comes back to Jeremy Smith. Here is Myler. Myler trying to go through the gap. Thought about the offload briefly. Took the tackle in the end from Shannon Lupton.
Wait, with me. Go. Well done.
Now it's Robbie Paul again. And this is Philip Luluwai. And Luluwai trying to use his strength, wanting to get on with it. Plays it to Paul. Smith, good ball. Good defence. Very good defence, low down by Van Dijk. Sibbett no way through. Robbie Paul again. Luluwai will drive it back in the same direction, trying to tire out this Crusaders defence. Paul, Jeremy Smith dabs the ball to the in-goal area, and that's helped over the line, I think. I thought that was helped over by a Crusaders hand, but the referee saw it another way. Tap on the 20.
Not a bad option, was it, by Jeremy Smith?
He got it right. Thierry Alibert making his first appearance of 2009 in the Super League tonight.
Sorry, Eddie, but I just think it's worth giving the Crusaders some credit there. Their defence on their own line for the last couple of minutes has been fantastic. They've really got up off the line, bought themselves a bit of land, worked as hard as they possibly can, because the game, as I said at half-time, that 16 points is a magical target at which you can aim. Once it goes beyond 18, it becomes almost impossible, I think, for the Crusaders here tonight. But at 16, they're still alive and kicking in this match.
Yes, they are, and there's plenty of time left for them as well. And here is Damien Quinn, now Blackwood, with those stitches in the head. And Jace Van Dijk has left the action for the time being as Budworth gives it to Matty Smith. He hoists a high kick. Ooh, this is a good kick too. But it's very well claimed. Well claimed by Henry. And they're just checking on his neck. You noticed that his chin was pushed onto his chest. There's a bit of weight on the back of the net. They're just checking him out. Wisely so.
Well, he took a real bad bang, didn't he? He just couldn't get the head out of the way. Pressure on the neck and the top of the spine.
He also had a broken jaw, badly broken jaw last season.
Let's hope he's going to be okay. No point in risking him, even though he's such an important man in this Crusaders outfit. Such a creative player.
The defence has certainly tightened, though, hasn't it, for the Crusaders, as Phil rightly said. Well, that's a poor kick from Jeremy Smith. Here come the Crusaders again in the shape of Duggan.
Difference between the two sides, though, even though it wasn't a good kick, you could see that Salford's eagerness to get down in one line. It's been a feature of the Salford Reds tonight as the kick and chase game. Very solid. They look pretty fit, don't they?
Matty Smith. Wilshire up high and Stuart Littler low down. Remarkable Stuart Littler. This is his 134th consecutive appearance for Salford City Reds. His only club. There he is, number 15, just going through the bottom of the screen now. Stuart Littler, another hero of the Irish in the World Cup in Australia. Matty Smith, good running here from Duggan. They go wide to Hannay, and Hannay gives it to Dyer. Dyer inside to Duggan. Magnificent Celtic Crusaders try. Absolutely sensational. And Tony Duggan hits 99 tries for the Celtic Crusaders. That was a wonderful movement down the right-hand side. Good hands, good running, strong, fast rugby league. And the Celtic Crusaders in the shape of Tony Duggan, and he loves playing against the Salford City Reds, doesn't he? Loves to get across the whitewash and has done so again tonight.
Best move of the night, and it came from the Crusaders. The first time they've utilised dummy runners, and a good quick hands out there to Luke Dyer, back on the inside. This guy, Tony Duggan, he can't stop scoring tries. Super play. He knew he couldn't get there on his own, but great support, and that is a highlight of this man, Tony Duggan.
High quality try. Great 4 points.
And it all came about because of the fact they love to get the ball to the wingers whenever possible. 6 quality passes, all at pace, hit with players with perfect timing. They are an entertaining team. Now they've managed to stiffen up that defence and hold Salford out. They've given themselves a chance in this one.
And if Josh Hannay can kick this, they will be back to within 10 points. He's weighing it up very carefully, Josh Hannay. And he's kicked it. Flags go up. It's 20 points to 10. And Celtic Crusaders are alive and kicking.
Good work the very first time. You can see the dummy runner have come through. It just confuses, tightens the Reds' defence, and they've got the number out wide. Dyer realises he can't get it, but what about the positional sense by Tony Duggan, the fullback?
Stay on.
Eddie, what's so impressive here for the Crusaders, they're doing this without Jace Van Dijk, who really is their central nervous system. He sends all the messages to all the players and commands the player for most of the time they're in possession. He's off the field, and yet they've obviously done enough work in pre-season to prepare for this eventuality and allow other players to fill into that role.
Well, 20 points to 0. Salford led the perfect start after 20 minutes, and Celtic Crusaders have come back into the match. It's 20 points to 10.
Remember, it was 6-all in the second half against Leeds last week. Maybe John Dixon looking at the fact that they might play 20 minutes at the back of the stand before they even start this game.
Yeah, maybe they should get off the bus half an hour earlier, eh? That's the last tackle for them here, though. Matty Smith with the kick. Good kick, too. Great kick. Fitzpatrick has to run this ball back. There are 4 defenders waiting for him to close in. Hannay and Darren Mapp.
Big hit as well by the second row Mapp. Well, it's an amazing transformation, isn't it?
Don't forget the highlights later on of this match and also the Catalan Dragons Huddersfield game from Perpignan, early hours of the morning. And if you're up early for breakfast tomorrow, you can see it all again. Salford Celtic and then the Catalan Dragons against Huddersfield. We'll have about 60 minutes of that game for you, so extended highlights from Perpignan. And if you're a Huddersfield fan, it's well worth watching, let me tell you that. Here is Littler. Littler will hack the ball upfield, but that's a poor kick from him. Down to Bill, news of the Crusaders.
The Crusaders battling back, but losing troops at the same time. Jace Van Dijk still off the field and sitting looking very tender in the dugout, and Jason Chan has joined him there on his debut, and Chan has got a hip injury by the look of things, and he's had to leave the field. Went into a tackle, I think got a bang on the hip, and tried to carry on. Decision taken to bring him off the field. Chris Beasley is on in his place, so casualties for the Crusaders.
Indeed so, and here is another of their casualties with the head bandaged. But they get the penalty. Too much pushing and shoving from Ray Cashmere. Well, Salford with a little crisis of confidence of their own at the moment.
Not only that, Crusaders, for the very first time within this game, they've had pretty fair share of the possession, and they've shown already that they're capable of scoring the tries. They've got the quality out there.
Here's Luke Dyer now. Subit lets him get to his feet. He plays the ball, and the runner was Adam Peake.
Second! On the line!
8 changes the Crusaders have made, and over, well, almost half an hour of the match to go. Budworth waits for them, 20 metres away from the Salford line. Here is Matty Smith. This is Damien Quinn. Good running again from Duggan. Is the 100 on? He got out of Wiltshire's tackle, and that's 100 tries in the Celtic Crusaders colours for Tony Duggan. He was not held by Wiltshire. He just wriggled away from the challenge, and Tony Duggan, with his 2 tries in this second half, has breathed life into the Celtic Crusaders challenge here. 100 tries in 85 games. What a record.
And wonderful play there with the fact that they've lost Van Dijk. He's on the sidelines. It's been left to Matty Smith to control things up there, gives them the opportunity, and it's well finished. Beautiful play. Duggan came on the arc, and what about the step? Gets away from it. Nothing wrong. Good position by the French referee, Thierry Alibert. And Duggan, what a way to bring up the 100 tries. He's a talent, there's no doubt about that.
100 tries for Tony Duggan, 30 years of age. 4 tries in 5 against Salford last year. 2 in this second half in 2009. And Josh Hannay here to put Celtic Crusaders within 4 points of the Salford City Reds. Since they went into a 20-0 lead after 21 minutes, Salford have gone into their shell. Hannay adds the extras. Game on at the Willows, 20 points to 16. And Celtic Crusaders with their tails up.
Remarkable turnaround, but look how he comes on the arc. It just squeezes the defence. That was superb. So was the step, and the second effort to get it through. Congratulations to the referee. Couldn't have got any closer to him. Boy, what a turnaround.
It is a turnaround. It's the second we've seen on Sky Sports this weekend in the Engage Super League. Last night, St Helens fighting back from 14-0 down to beat Warrington. Can Celtic Crusaders come from 20-0 down to beat Salford?
It's certainly on the cards if they play like this. It's been a wonderful effort. As I say, the responsibility now on the shoulders of Matty Smith is controlling things out there, and also from Neil Budworth.
Well, let's get an update on the situation regarding Jace Van Dijk, the Celtic Crusaders captain. Bill.
It doesn't look as though Jace Van Dijk is going to be able to return. It's a muscle injury, upper back, and it's causing him a lot of discomfort, and Van Dijk is probably going to have to sit out the rest of what is turning into a belting game.
Yes, indeed. The thing is, it's a golden opportunity this for young Matty Smith, and he's taking it with both hands, because he has been instrumental in a lot of what the Crusaders are doing well at the moment, as we see Van Dijk there just putting the tracksuit on.
It's very difficult as well for the new coach John Dixon, in as much that he realises that most of the attacking ploys they centre around Van Dijk, but
this young fella's no mug though, Steve-o, is he?
No,
Matty Smith.
and he's stepped up to the plate, hasn't he? Well, and it's a big question to be asked about the Reds now. Sean McRae's got to get the message out there and say, hey, come on, let's get back to good solid basics, get over the advantage line, get into a good position, and no doubt with Alka returning to take control in dummy half.
Yeah, this could be a crucial change by Sean McRae, because Alka was very much involved in everything that Salford did in the opening 21 minutes.
Well, he knows he can lift the side, and John Dixon has got to get the message out, say, listen, Alka's there, first, second marker, work overtime, work very, very hard indeed. One go one way, the other go the other.
4 points the difference, and 22 minutes remaining here at the Willows. It's a real scrap for the points now.
You made the point, Eddie, in regards to the Crusaders. Let's not forget, they've yet to play at home. Both their games have been away, and sometimes, it's a long way and a long time that you're on the coach.
Good feet from Damien Quinn, support from Duggan. Salford's turn now to scramble in defence, and they've been doing that for over 40 minutes either side of half-time. Chris Beasley on as a sub against Leeds as well. Plays the ball there to Budworth. Here's Smith. Up goes the high kick. It's a good one too. Oh, it's an awkward bounce. Fitzpatrick did well. Heard the hooves behind him of Darren Mack.
Not only that, as soon as he got the ball, he just collapsed to the ground. He knew that if he took it stood up, they could have pushed him back into the in-goal area.
And one of the differences between the two sides in the last 5 or 10 minutes have been the kicks, really. If you think about Celtic's last 3 kicks, they've all put pressure or bought invaluable ground for their side. The Salford ones haven't really pressurised the Celtic back three when they've had to gather the ball. One went over the dead ball line. They're not really able to get that sort of pressure or dominance, really. Oh, that's a massive decision. Last tackle penalty.
Ray Cashmere asked the question of Thierry Alibert there, didn't he? Watch him. He's looking at the referee, struggling to get to his feet.
Well, there's no doubt that Ryan O'Hara, the prop forward, had held him down.
Well, the penalty is given, and Salford get a little bit of ground. Martin Offiah, by the way, will be on Sky Sports News tomorrow from 9:30, reviewing the full weekend of the Engage Super League. And all the tries from this opening weekend will be on Boots and All Online, which makes a welcome return with Phil and Barry this week from Tuesday evening. Get onto the website, www.skysports.com, follow the links, Boots and All Online, first edition of 2009. And the programme will be on Sky anytime from Wednesday. Ian Sibbett for Salford.
Beautiful pass. Right out of the top drawer has sent Sibbett sailing over the line. Top quality from the standoff, Jeremy Smith. And Sibbett knows it. Talk about coming onto the ball at the right moment. The way Smith just held up that ball created such a huge gap, and Sibbett races over. All came about with a penalty given away by Ryan O'Hara. He appeals to the official, but it's no good. But watch this pass, beautiful. Just sucks him straight through. Completely confused Matty Smith. This is sheer quality. Watch. Come and get me. Smith says, I'll try. Sibbett's on his way to the line. That is top quality. Nothing that Tony Duggan could do about that. Boy, they needed it.
They did.
They were under the cosh.
With the try, Smith with the pass, but I just wonder, the inspiration from the former captain, Malcolm Alker. They look a different side when Alker is on the field.
Well, they have been starved of possession, haven't they, Eddie? A big kick here for John Wilshere. Not necessarily in terms of the score, because it won't make too much of a difference. They'll still need to score twice, the Welsh team.
Just not quite having the legs. 24-16 though. Salford with a little bit of breathing space.
You can see Matty Smith is undecided, and when he realises he's sucked in, he tries to get on the balance, but he's off balance. Sibbett's away. Oh, that is a good try. Sometimes the little pass can look ever so sweet.
Stay on.
He thought it was sugar and spice, that's for sure.
Well, Ian Sibbett, outside the Super League or the National Rugby League of Australia for the first time in his career last year. And back with a bang here tonight, 24-16. 18 minutes to go now. Cashmere trundling it forward. He'll be a force for Salford this year. Alker. Littler. Fitzpatrick was hunting the short pass that never came. There's Alker again, right on halfway. Here is Stapleton. Alker to Luke Swain.
Good solid hard work. That's a message Sean McRae will get out there and say, come on, this is where we camp down. And it's not just a coincidence, Eddie, that Salford suddenly become a different side as soon as Malcolm Alker returned to the field of play.
The defence from Alker and Parker. It's now Salford's turn to turn the screw. There is Malcolm Alker, the heartbeat of this team, the heartbeat of this club for so many years. Blackwood will try and run it away. That's the last tackle, only 25 metres gained by the Crusaders here. Smith's boot will buy them a bit more ground.
It's not a bad one either.
Too, but it just stands up nicely in the end for Fitzpatrick. He'll run it back.
Just shows you the problems that solid hard defence from Salford there made sure that when they got the kick away, the Celtic Crusaders, that they were going to get over the halfway line with ease. There they are, playing on the second tackle there, and they're well into an attacking zone.
And they've now been pinged for offside, the Celtic Crusaders.
Will they go for the 2 points? I think they might. Just stretch it slightly to turn it into a 10-point lead.
They clawed their way back into the match, and in the last 5 or 10 minutes or so, since the reappearance of Malcolm Alker, the game is just slipping through their grasp again.
He's so experienced, and of course everyone around him knows his capabilities, and he just gives them a lift. Even the mere fact that he just trots out onto the field of play. And
I think full credit to him as well, Steve. I know that obviously there was something that went on, that he had the captaincy taken away from him, but some players could easily have said, right, that's me done. You know, I want to get away, I want to move.
Oh, you're right.
Malcolm Alker has knuckled down, and he's an integral part of this club still. Wilshere. Well, great kicker, John Wilshere, the Papua New Guinea international, 26-16.
Getting back to that point in regard to Malcolm Alker, is a replay of the style from Wilshere. Very effective indeed, and that's a vital 2 points. As far as the Salford coach Sean McRae is concerned, he's a professional, isn't he, Alker? Right the way through, he gives everything. He has at this club. He's had opportunities, you know, to be poached away, and he's remained a loyal servant to the Reds.
He's been here 12 years, over 300 appearances. A great servant.
And boy, that's a lot of scrums, isn't it?
Here's Sibbett. 15 minutes to go, just less.
There are certain points in a game that any coach will pick out and say, you know, that really, really pleased me, that delighted me. And I think that little touch from Jeremy Smith, the standoff, that delayed pass to Sibbett was outstanding.
40-20 attempt by Alker now, just spinning off the outside of the boot though. Duggan picks it up. Here is Blackwood again. Who's leading the charge? The kicker. This is Dyer, almost through the gap. Sibbett just clawed him to the ground. Marginal, the tackle, because...
it looked a bit lazy and a bit high, didn't he?
It did. Oh, that's not the best.
Yeah. Trying to get it away, Matty Smith, and yeah, made contact. That should have been a penalty.
This is Littler.
This is where the likes of Carl Fitzpatrick enjoys it. He'll come second phase, half break, he'll probably be there.
This is Luke Swain, the loose forward from the Gold Coast Club in the NRL. Alker and Myler, they flicked off the hands and is collected here. And that's Josh Hannay. He plays the ball to Matty Smith.
A little bit lazy there, the Salford's attack. Oh, that's 2-on-1, it's going to be a penalty. Well spotted. Thierry Alibert. And Bryant just looks and says, well, looking to get away with that.
He is looking to get away with it.
He just had a fingertip to him. Richard Myler says it's mine, but...
it was a poor carry, wasn't it? It was poor technique from the ball carrier. A lot of people, Phil, think that we ought to do away with that and just make it a, you know, if you can't hold on to it, no matter how many are around you, and you steal the ball, play on.
Well, I'm pretty happy with the rules the way they are on that thing. I just think there's got to be a massive urgency here now in Salford's defence, because if the Crusaders come up with one try, their speed and ability to score long-range tries means that they will possibly score another. They get a penalty here, we're going to be in a fantastic position, and if they're still within striking distance with 5 minutes to go, I'd fancy the chances they'll have nothing to lose and will be a very dangerous side. You've seen the quality of some of the tries they've scored here tonight. They can play rugby.
They can, and this is Darren Mack, who will play it here to Neil Budworth. This now is the prop forward, Bryant, and he'll trundle it towards those posts. There they are. That's how close the Crusaders are here. Budworth again, Back it comes to Matty Smith. Here is Damien Quinn. Bullet pass. Oh, brilliantly handled. But Blackwood, the ball goes into touch off the legs of Celtic Crusaders, head and feet to Salford.
Well, they're not frightened to keep this ball alive. That a lot of people.
They've got to now.
Yeah, a lot of people thought perhaps this was not planned. It was. Delayed pass as they come round on the arc. Remember, it gave Duggan his first try.
I think it came off the legs of Beasley, and I think Beasley actually made a play for this. Ball goes backwards there off Blackwood. Swain had a dig at it, but also, well, I don't know.
Yeah, Beasley just touched it at the final moment, but it was good work by Mark Delacourt. He was back on the defence, then offloaded.
Stapleton. Seems a long time ago, doesn't it, that Craig Stapleton crashed over for the first try of this match.
Well, it looked as though it was going to be easy, didn't it?
Sibbett was nearly through.
That could have been a penalty. He's allowed to play on as the official.
Alka to halfway on tackle number 4. Kashmir. Last tackle here for Salford. Kick has to be good from Myler. Goes up in the air. Has ice on it. Well claimed by Blackwood.
Again, a high kick, and a very good chase.
Last 10 at the Willows.
They've worked really hard in that department.
Only 8 points in it. This match is still there for the winning for either side. Another score to Salford you think would just about sort it, but Celtic Crusaders look in the mood to make another big comeback. That's a penalty, surely. His ball-carrying arm, Dyer, touched the ground and he passed the ball off the deck. He did get a bang in the mush, didn't he? But that's not allowed. I think we might take the 2 here, Salford. Actually, his arm didn't touch the ground.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I think he's been badly done to there.
That shot, it didn't.
Talau didn't miss him. And I think that should have been play on. He's been badly done to, shakes his head in absolute disgust, but the Frenchman had blown the whistle. And not surprisingly, Sean McRae has sent the message out and said, we'll take the 2. Nice and steady, just eat up the clock.
Eddie, I think he's been the best winger on the field as well. Early in the game, when his side was struggling to make any ground, he came up with some amazing runs. The tackle isn't completed there, is it? That's all in the act of hitting the ground. He's been very, very strong player for them. Showed some class too with that try for Duggan.
And Wilshere, the dependable man with the great kicking boot. 28-16 just means now that Celtic Crusaders have to score 3 times to win it. 2 converted tries to get back on terms. It could just be a bridge too far for the men from Bridgend. It could be a winning start to life back in Super League for Sean McRae and Salford.
Not surprisingly, they've gone for the short kick-off, and they've got it.
You're brilliantly picked up by Matty Smith. A great ball as well to Dyer. And Salford will force him over the whitewash on the far side. They will celebrate that, Salford, like they have just scored the match-winning try.
Good team effort. And I think the look on John Dixon's face says it all. He realises that there was half a chance there when they regained it from the kick-off. Good hands by Delacourt in the end. But Dyer was always going towards the line. The sheer weight of 4 Salford players, Adamson leading the way.
This is Little now.
Will they play safety first, Salford, or will they try something a little bit different?
Oh, what a hit on Philip Luluai. Beasley led the way with O'Hara. Strong run again from Stapleton. That's Luke Adamson.
Well, they're coming up with some big hits. The problem is that they should have been doing that in the opening 20 minutes.
Another big hit on Luluai, but he withstood that one, made a bit more ground forward. Last one here. Just on for Ray Kashmir. And Alka with the kick, just drifts it down the line, but Duggan's after it. leads the way on the chase. Good quick play the ball though. Here's Blackwood.
Second! Hands out! Line, wait, go.
Lupton, Smith.
Good work.
Foul!
See how standoff Jeremy Smith came in very quickly out wide.
Go.
It's only been on a few occasions, you know, that the Salford outfit have been caught out in their defensive pattern. They've worked hard at the off-season.
Adam Peake tries to get the ball away. Ooh, he manages to get to it as well. And
Should be
6 to
back
go
to
here.
6, yeah.
Craig Stapleton's fingertips touch that. Beasley, strong run.
Go on! Go ahead! One!
Matty Smith.
Play on, play on!
Nearly,
Should have been
Shepherd.
an obstruction.
Second! Now back to one. Move! Go!
Good driving again from Darren Mack.
Well, Duggan will be looking towards his hat-trick, that's for sure. He's lurking back on the inside.
Here's Quinn. There's Delacourt. Oh, he was tackled without the ball, Duggan. It's a penalty. Littler had him round the ankles and he didn't have the ball in hand. It's a penalty to Celtic Crusaders. 5 to go. And that's Delacourt. Lupton and Matty Smith.
Offside.
And he's offside!
Knock on.
Yes.
Offside. He came from an offside position. He's given a knock on.
No, he's given offside.
He's got it finally. Well, you've got to praise this Celtic side for at least trying to keep this ball alive there. It wasn't the best pass, it was going behind. Endeavour is certainly there. A certain amount of skill factors, and when they tighten up their coordination, especially in defence, I think that a lot of teams will find it very difficult when they go down to Bridge End.
Yes, they'll be glad to get home, won't they?
One! Move! No hands!
I think the Catalan Dragons had similar problems when they first entered the league already, because if you think the side have travelled up before the game, they're waiting around for 2 days, and for a lot of players that's a pretty new experience, hanging around a hotel, waiting all day for the game, and they haven't focused well enough in the opening quarter of either the game at Leeds or the one here tonight, and I think they'll probably have to address how they spend that day. Are they more active or less active? They need to do something different so that they're ready to go from the whistle.
Would you take the gamble and maybe travel on the day of the match, or is that too much to ask?
No, I wouldn't take that gamble, but I would start to discuss with other people and even amongst the squad themselves what they think they should do during the course of today on game day to be at their best for kick-off.
That ball has ricocheted. It's Jeremy Smith, and back it comes again. It's still the last tackle. There's a chance here. Myler, still the last, I think. Now the ball's been fed forward, and
He's offside.
Celtic Crusaders have a penalty because there was a Salford City Reds player in an offside position.
Well, they tried to get a combination. They kicked through for Jeremy Smith, but it was certainly in front of the kicker.
Backwards, on the line, please. Play on
Nash
it.
with the tackle, but Crusaders smuggle the ball away.
Release, finish.
Here is Ryan O'Hara.
Wait, go. Second, move, wrong, 10. Good, well done.
Well, they've been wholehearted again, haven't they, the Crusaders, in their challenge here tonight.
And very skillful, Elliot, for some of the tries, some of the play. Look at that ball inside.
Pass. It's Duggan.
Oh, he should have passed
And he
earlier.
gives it to Matty Smith, but it's forward, and the referee, Thierry Alibert, was right on the spot then to make the judgment. But how about the pass on the inside?
He should have passed again. I'm afraid he was going for glory, and it finished up with a forward pass to Matty Smith.
Well, the hat-trick was beckoning for him.
Well, that was a problem, but he had Beasley on the inside, to his left, and all he had to do was draw the full back, and they were in.
But the inside ball just before that sent Duggan away was outstanding.
It's one of the ploys that John Dixon has utilised over
No feet, backwards.
the many months that he's been with the club. Not frightened to do set pattern moves like that.
2 minutes to go. Salford have got their return to Super League off to a winning start. The Celtic Crusaders with much to build on. Last week was a defeat at the home of the champions, but by no means were they disgraced, and the same here tonight. They're on the wrong end of the scoreline, but they have shown us some fantastic skill, some lovely deft touches.
Release! Wait, go.
They will be anxious though, with 2 games played and 2 defeats, to get their win tally up and running. Last tackle here for Salford. And Jeremy Smith just drills the ball into touch over on the far side. 1 minute remaining, 8 points the difference. Salford have won their first game of the new year.
And they'll be very happy. We've seen some strong forward displays most of the game. And I think most exciting for the Salford supporters this year is some speed and pace at half-back with Myler and Smith. And really, if they are to be competitive this year and trouble other teams, you need speed at the highest level, and they have that. Both Myler, who's prepared to go at the line, and Smith, who's prepared to both run with the ball and create chances for his teammates. Beautiful one for Sibbett that we saw earlier. And you know, they're starting to build a nice combination. Fitzpatrick and Wilshire on the at the back, and Henry as well, some speed out wide. They're building a competitive squad, and that's what they'll want to grow throughout the course of this season.
I think the opening 20 minutes was as good as Salford displays we've seen for a number of years. Certainly in 2007 they struggled, of course, in Super League. They played really well in National League One, of course, last year when everything was on offer, but the first 20 minutes here tonight showed signs of what they are capable of.
And I think when they review this performance, they'll say, how do we learn to do that for 80 minutes? At what point did we switch off and lose our concentration?
Final siren's gone. There's the final tackle of the match, perhaps fittingly made by Malcolm Alka, but John Dixon and his team, he will be disappointed with the results over the past 2 weeks, but he will know as well as anybody that there is plenty for him to build on here. They lost at the champions. They have been beaten here tonight by the team that came up out of National League One with them last year. But on either occasion, they have not been disgraced. As the boys have said during the course of the commentary, they really have to just find out how they can get to the pace of Super League from minute 1 to minute 20. Once they've done that, once they're at the pace, they're a match for anybody. Sean McRae will be delighted, back in Super League, and a victory under his belt. Wilshire has kicked well, hasn't he? The man of the match, well, Steve-O's chosen that fellow, Malcolm Alka. He's with Bill.
Malcolm, congratulations on the man of the match performance. There's Champagne. Maybe not quite as straightforward as it looked to be going early on.
No, we probably got off to quite a good start. Our completion rate was very high. It was faster around the rucks, and we probably took that for granted towards the back end of the first half and the start of the second half. So we got back to the basics, and the basics worked well for us.
There was some great pace from you early on, wasn't there? The team was